Greetings and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4 and the mighty Mexican Socialist Republic, which continues to spread its greenishness across the Americas. In fact, our greenishness has now met up with that of Brazil, our soon-to-be friends and allies. As yet, they are not actually our friends and allies, because if we check on them, this guy here is currently in charge, who seems a little bit like a member of the bourgeois elite to you and me. I mean, look at that. He's wearing a bow tie. Now, I've got nothing against bow ties, but a white bow tie with a white shirt? I mean, come on. Does that not just scream bourgeois to you? Gallardo here would never be seen dead in a white bow tie on a white shirt, unless he was at a particularly good party. But I mean, certainly not when just hanging out in the government offices, conducting the normal day-to-day business of the Brazilian and or Mexican people. So that is one of the many reasons why ultimately we are going to stage a coup in Brazil, and the 40% of the population who support communists simply cannot wait for that to happen. They are just, hanging out in the street, listening to our agitators, watching Mexican television, which we beam into Brazil on like high gain antennas just pointed across the Amazon rainforest from the newly conquered Colombia and, of course, Venezuela, which fell to the mighty Mexican Socialist Republic last time around. Speaking of Venezuela, and indeed the ongoing spread of the Mexican Socialist Republic, we need to sort out what's going on right now. Dino Enca, of course, is busy having a party. He has sent a couple of his troops down to the border with Ecuador here, but he himself is not going to go. Ostensibly, he has allowed Martin Bustamante to gain a little bit of notoriety, a little bit of fame for himself by conducting the Ecuadorian campaign on his own, although, as was pointed out, this could be a selfish gesture, because it might be that just Gallardo's having far too much fun having a party in Venezuela and generally getting to know the Venezuelan people, ingratiating himself with them, as he does everywhere he goes, not to mention drinking absolute bucketfuls, bathtubfuls, in fact, of tequila, and smoking many a Cuban cigar. He may even enter a hallucinogenic state once again. We'll have to wait and see if that happens later on or not. We also have other things that we need to take care of. We have missing equipment production. Alright, fine. We should probably get whatever it is that's missing. It is support equipment. Let's notch down tactical bombers, and towed artillery will leave, I think. Motorized will leave. Mechanized equipment, we've actually lost some of our factories for reasons, probably because we now occupy Venezuela and therefore we don't get full use of all their factories, because basically we got them all too drunk when we invaded. They all got hammered drunk, and now we can only operate a subset of the military factories that we've got there. And we don't want to be too harsh with them. Let's take off some of our, well, not take off that many, we'll take off some of our infantry equipment, and we'll go for support equipment. We'll go for like 3 things in support equipment, and that is thusly complete. We don't have any other orders to set up there. We can modify a government. We'll hold off on that. We might want to do some war justifying and things in the near future. I mean, we wouldn't want to go too long without justifying a fresh war. What would Dino Enca do, and indeed his speechwriters, if he wasn't preparing for another war? Available war goals. Yes, we need to actually declare war on Ecuador before this war goal expires, which will happen on the 26th of November 1941. It's currently the 10th of October, so we've got a little bit of time for Martin to get his troops into position. We'll just unpause it, I think, whilst we do this. We've also got insufficient resources. We need 29 steel. Oh, that's right. We need a whole ton of steel, and it may be because we have got these unread naval radar reports, convoy radar reports. Has some nefarious enemy been raiding our convoys? No. Actually, as it turns out, is that us? That's us. That's the... Hold on. The Legionnaires Bulgaria. It's all happening. The Legionnaires Bulgaria join the Axis. The integrated support doctrine has been completed by the boffins. Excellent. We'll just okay that. I think we'll just keep this boffin on the land doctrine researching. We'll go straight on with the next one. Regimental combat teams. A regimental combat team is an infantry regiment closely integrated with supporting units such as artillery, tanks, and reconnaissance. Tanks will come soon. The boffins are working on tanks, and the Mexican Socialist tanks will be the best tanks in all of the world, much like the Mexican Socialist Navy is the best navy in all of the world and has joined, apparently, in a fleet action with the Royal Navy, a massive fleet from the Royal Navy, and also 25, are those Dutch? Van Ness? Van Galen? Yeah, I think that's probably the Dutch Navy. Well, fantastic. We've engaged in a fleet action, a joint fleet action. The second canoe fleet, getting stuck in. I think it actually led this one. Look, who's this? Admiral Bruce Fraser? I don't know who he is. He looks more like a Royal Navy man to me, but clearly it says that we were in charge of this fleet, and after seeing the second canoe fleet in action and the might and joy that is the Mexican Socialist Republican Navy, obviously these vast fleets decided to follow our lead, and we sunk 4 enemy convoys for, I think that's Venezuela. Is that Venezuela? Let's double check. Occupied territories. Yes, that was indeed Venezuela, who we currently are gently occupying by plying them with tequila. Oh yes, that's the way we do things around here. The German Reich has called the Legionnaires of Bulgaria as our enemy in the Mexican-Dominican War. Well, fine, you do that. I don't think that's going to affect us at all, in all honesty. Martin, are you in position? Martin is nearly in position. Let's get him planning his assault. Offensive line. We'll just go straight for Quetta here. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's currently obscured, so we don't need to worry too much about it. If that's not how you pronounce it, once we've invaded and conquered, we'll change the name so that that's how you pronounce it. So yes, we're invading Quetta of Ecuador, and that will come as soon as preparations are complete, or by sort of mid-November at the latest. Good work! Carry on, guys. We have a non-aggression pact request from China. Alright, you know what? We'll accept that. We're going to start accepting these non-aggression pacts. It's a little bit like caring about what happens in the rest of the world, but obviously a future conflict with the might of the United States looms ever closer, and the more people we, at the very least, can rely on not getting involved, the better, as far as I'm concerned. Unread Naval Convoy Raider battle results. We've got another convoy raid. Once again, the second canoe fleet has led a mighty and brave attempt to sink convoy ships. Unarmed convoy ships without any kind of escort or protection. But they asked for it, clearly. It seems we actually have Americans driving around in our territory as well now. It seems like Mexican territorial integrity has been just abandoned by the rest of the world. Frankly, we're going to have to punish them for it. We're going to have to punish them for it severely in the near future. Because, although Gildardo here doesn't really mind, the more the merrier, come join the party. Other more sober generals, like the ever-reliable Louis Farrell, who has spent almost his entire military career facing off against the Americans and preventing, economic and political migrants from entering the wonder that is the Mexican Socialist Republic unchallenged, at least unless they kind of entered here or over here or down here. I think that's it. I think everywhere else we've got at least one division guarding the border, which it's got to be enough to repel that lot if they decided it was time they wanted to come in, hasn't it? Maybe. I don't know. If not, well, we will simply have to dispatch Gildardo to the front line, and a new epic tale will be made of his awesome campaign that he will wage eventually, but not now. Right now, instead, we are waiting on Martin Bustamante to wage the Ecuadorian campaign. And after that, where are we going to go, and what are we going to do? Look, we've raided another convoy, I think. That might even be the same convoy. Armament Effort 2 has been completed. You know what I realized? And it is to my great horror, in actual fact. We've had access to technology sharing for a couple of national efforts now, and it gives us another research slot. Gain 1 research slot. Why did we not research this straight away? We could have had a 5th boffin all this time. Immediately, we must get technology sharing. We must get an additional boffin. We also got another military factory, which we will put to work on. I think probably infantry equipment too. More and better infantry equipment is always a priority, especially for Gildardo out there partying in Venezuela. Something else we should probably do, let's just pause it. I'm actually going to split off some of these truck chicos. In fact, all of the truck chicos. can leave the army, the first legion of Mexican bravado and joy, because unfortunately we need somebody to kind of like make sure that tequila is delivered all across our occupied regions, and it's going to be this party here. These truck chicos are going to be retasked with the very important job of delivering tequila and pacifying the local populace. So you're going to become this army. I don't think you really need a commander for this, so we won't bother getting one just now. I mean, we could do. We might well end up with a clone, which would just be confusing. Let's go for garrison area. So we're going to garrison all of our occupied territories here, and basically the plan is to drive around and just drop off trucks loads of tequila and Cuban cigars and whatever other luxury products we can bring to the workers of this region to make sure that they continue working hard and working smart, and generally ensuring that everybody is kept happy and peaceful and stuff. There we go. That's excellent. You stay at it, boys. Make sure that the land is running with tequila. The tequila must flow. The tequila must flow. Martin, where are you? How's your preparations going? 50%. All right, preparations are complete and we are ready to commence the attack. So, it is time for Dino Enka to call forth the Mexican Socialist Republic once again, to declare war upon our enemies and once more expand the borders and free the workers of the bourgeois. The Mexican Socialist Republic has declared war on Ecuador. Good. Martin, bust them antis. Bust them old school. The German Reich has called Ecuador as the enemy. I don't think you needed to do that, German Reich. I mean, they joined your failing axis quite willingly. Quite willingly, indeed. Good. You're not supposed to be letting them attack you, Martin. You're supposed to be attacking them. That's pretty much the plan. Look. Like this. Let me help you. Like this and like this. That's how we attack. You see? That's how it's done. Good work, man. This convoy report does just not want to go away. I know. I've read it. I have read this. I have read the report. Click for details. Lovely. Lovely details. Thank you. You have now disappeared. No more must I be plagued by your pointless report. The truck chicos are indeed delivering the tequila all about the place. Our army is being gloriously successful. Look, we've got planes flying in, providing air support. This is going to be a pretty short campaign, I think. Pretty short indeed. We should probably start thinking about the next stage, which I guess is going to be to take on the Republic of Peru. I mean, we're just still not in any kind of condition to take on the United States, so if we just continue to expand our presence here in the South Americas, get Brazil on our side, try and get Canada on our side, and then, once we've got some formidable and advanced weaponry, we can think about taking on the might of the United States. That has to be a plan. Look, we have taken Quito! It has been taken. However, the Ecuadorians have not given up yet. Clearly, the Galapagos Islands are far too important to them, so we'll just continue to attack. We'll just continue to press further and further into the country until they have been completely and utterly decimated and driven before us. Hear the lamentation of their women. Actually, you won't hear the lamentation of their women, because their women being workers, unless they're bourgeois women, the women being workers will be thrilled at the arrival of the glory and might of the Mexican Socialist Republic, even if it is being led by the slightly less charismatic Martin Bustamante, who, is making simple and methodical, efficient work of conquering Ecuador. Look at how undramatic that was compared to the Venezuelan campaign, compared to the campaigns where Gallardo here has been involved. Nice, simple, efficient, and dealt with. Does that make good TV? Probably not. I'm afraid the people at the Mexican version of Hollywood, which is currently in the process of being named, leading contenders for the name, by the way, in case you're interested, are Dino Wood, which I particularly like, as does Dino Enka. In fact, it's his personal favourite at the moment, with a kind of dinosaur sign. Amazing. I mean, that's just sheer genius right there. Gallardo personally favours Gallardo Wood, and it's going to be hard for that not to be the winner, because Gallardo is incredibly charismatic, and he has generally, whenever he's gone around now, when he's at parties and stuff, he just refers to it as Gallardo Wood, and assumes that is going to be sufficient to swing the vote. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. There is another contender, which is Hollywood. Hollywood. I quite like that one too, in all honesty. Or indeed, the June the 1st Studios, which is slightly more sober sounding. It is, of course, to celebrate when the bourgeois elite of Mexico were overthrown by the military and replaced by the true president of Mexican joy and happiness, Dino Enca. So many fine options there. In other news, the Mexican Socialist Televisia, which is the new national broadcaster of the Mexican Socialist Republic, has started a new serial television show detailing the events of the Mexican Socialist campaign to bring the Green Dawn to the Americas. I don't know what that's like, because personally I haven't watched it. But you know what, I hear it's very good. World news! Ecuador has capitulated. Dino Enca has announced that the cowardly Ecuadorian nation could no longer withstand the pressure from the overwhelming presence of Martin Bustamante. And indeed, their country has been busted well and truly. This is great news. Great news indeed. Did we get... Oh, we didn't get the Galapagos Islands. Look, that's still Ecuadorian. I think it is. In fact, that is now their capital. They've all gone to hang out on the Galapagos Islands with the various and assorted interesting wildlife that you find on the Galapagos Islands. All right, well, you know what? Let's start justifying war on Peru, I think. It's got to be the next target, right? Justify war on Peru, and we're going to go... I guess here, we're just going to take Lima, right? We're just going to kind of like march along the mountain range. It's either mountain range, like Ecuador's a pain, look at this. Should we just go with that? We'll go with that justification. But look at the pain that is Peru. It's either jungle, just jungle, rainforest, jungle, across all of it, not to mention a whole host of rivers that we'd have to cross, or it's mountains. That's it. That's all there is. I mean, that's all the country is. And the capital is quite a long way away from our troops. So this could actually be quite a difficult campaign. Supporting them from the air could be tricky. In fact, we might have to actually, God forbid, plan our attack somewhat and not just charge in. They've got an airfield here that we could take, but frankly that's not much further, or not much closer to everything than this airfield. So we can attack from up here, but we're going to be fighting our way through jungle, which is going to be just a massive pain. Or we can fight our way down here. We've got a little bit of desert. Martin Bustamante is actually a desert fox. I mean, it's easy to forget after his many and assorted glorious campaigns. But he is a desert fox. He's also an invader, apparently. Amphibious invasion speed plus 30%. Invasion preparation time minus 30. Oh, you know what? That gives me an idea. We could launch an amphibious invasion into the south here at the same time. So basically we kind of attack from the north, and we have launch an amphibious invasion down at the south here and try and get a breakthrough. Maybe a port. Is there a port? There's no port. I mean, we could just try and take Lima in like a glorious amphibious assault. Of course, without intel, that could be quite tricky. Let's task one of our fleets with getting a bit of intel here. Navy. Let's take the second canoe fleet of Mexican Joy. The second canoe fleet of Mexican Joy. Let's retask them to patrol, and we're going to go... I guess we want to come down like this. So let's go the Mexican coast, the Western Canal Zone, and the Peruvian coast. See what you can find down there, second canoe fleet. And actually, let's start reinforcing the second canoe fleet as well, because so far all of our fresh stuff has been going into the first canoe fleet, which has probably grown to some sort of size. So let's have the second canoe fleet get a few destroyers and submarines into the bargain as well now. Non-aggression pact request from Greece. Alright, fine, Greece. Mongolia, yes, we'll definitely go with you. You have a red flag. Poland wants us to sign a non-aggression pact. Alright, Poland. I mean, I'm a bit dubious about the allies. I'm not going to lie to you. Obviously, we've also got free military factories and free dockyards from Ecuador. So we need to assign those. In fact, we've got loads of military factories and loads of naval dockyards. Good work, guys. Good work. Let's put one more in each of our naval construction orders. Artillery up. Let's get mechanized equipment up, and still got a few more support equipment, maybe motorized. The last one into infantry equipment. There we go. Oh yes. Feel the awesomeness. Feel the awesomeness and the wonder and the joy that is our various construction orders, which we probably make very interesting documentaries about on the Mexican Socialist Televisia channel, which of course also beams propaganda into Brazil there. But we're going to get more rubber, more of the King's own rubber from the United Kingdom. We also need tungsten. Wow, we really need a lot of stuff, don't we? Where should we get tungsten from? Bolivia? The Soviet Union, our friendly neighborhood Soviet Union, provider of all of our various and assorted needs. Look, there we go, straight away. We are dealt with. We can actually modify government. Should we get some sort of additional person in? A Prince of Terror! Effect of partisans on us, minus 25%. Foreign subversive activity efficiency, minus 30%. I'm a little bit worried about this growing American influence here, this growing democratic influence. I'm not sure if this will actually do anything about it, though. Effect of partisans on us. Well, to be fair, partisans are the like the people who disrupt and cause problems when they're not drunk on tequila. Foreign subversive activities efficiency minus 30%. You know what? Let's get the Prince of Terror. I mean, he sounds awesome. Plutarco E. Gales is going to join the Mexican socialist regime, and he is going to be sent down to the conquered territories to rain terror and tequila down upon our conquered bourgeois elite who cause problems. The workers, of course, never cause problems for us. They're just great. I mean, they just love hanging out and being with us and generally being awesome. We're at war with Japan, Italy, and the Dominican Republic. Look at that, 82% in favor of the aggressors. We're getting on quite well in this war. Hopefully, we can actually end it at some point. I mean, we might be able to end it now if we contacted them, but we don't really want to. It doesn't really bother us that we're at war with the Axis. It just doesn't seem to have any meaningful effect. It just means anytime we declare war on anybody, they immediately join the Axis, which is good. It stops the rest of the world from getting pissed off at us. Probably. We've got some mech chicos here. Let's bring them down by ship to here. There we go. Yes. And they can join old... poor old Gallardo. They better join Gallardo. His force has been sadly depleted as his truck chicos have been sent off on tequila duty. Technology sharing has been completed. Excellent. We have another boffin. Huzzah for the boffins. The boffin corps expands ever further and ever greater. We're going to get armament effort 3 because the other things, I think we want to kind of research down those parts a little bit before we get them. Non-aggression pact request from the People's Republic of China. Sure, why not, my Chinese friends? And Tanu Tuva. Okay, I mean, I don't even know who you are, but sure, welcome. Welcome, welcome. We also obviously have that extra slot, so let's think a little bit about where we want to put this, shall we? We should probably be smart about this and select something that's going to give us some fairly immediate benefit, maybe start getting our air forces up. Yeah, who am I kidding? Who am I kidding? There is only one thing that we can do with this. We must begin the atomic research program. The Mexican Socialist Republic has heard of these atomic weapons, and they are interested. Dino Enker has commanded our newly formed Atomic Research Division to immediately commence research upon this new source of power. For one day, it could prove instrumental in the war. Good, excellent. The Atomic Research Program has commenced. Was that the right thing to do? Who knows. Before we go to war with Peru, and I probably should have thought about this beforehand, I think what we want to do is we want to beef up our infantry divisions. We had a hard time of it in Venezuela. We didn't have as much of a hard time of it in Ecuador, it's true. But in Venezuela, I mean, it was tough fighting. So we basically sent a message down to Gallardo, found him, dragged him out of the party that he was in. He was obviously half pissed, but it's fine. That's when he does his best work. And we said, Gallardo, we need a plan. How can we improve our infanteria divisions? And he said to me, guns. Big damn guns. So the biggest guns that we have that we can add is a division of artillery. We'll add a division of artillery to our infanteria bravados. We'll also beef up the actual number of infantry themselves as well. 36 combat width. We want to get this up to around 40 really to be kind of efficient. We'll add some engineers as well because Yes, engineer company. These are going to be like our elite. These are the best of the best, equipped to smash through enemy lines. We're up to 339.4 attack. I mean, that sounds pretty good to me. But we haven't reached 40 combat width yet, so let's just add more infanteria. More, and there we go. Combat width of 40. A combat width of precisely 40. We have a soft attack of 362, a hard attack of 31.5, defense of 544, breakthrough 94.6. Pretty good. All round, pretty good. So there we go. That is Gildardo's incredible and awesome plan. It's going to be a significant increase to our Infanteria Bravados divisions. We're basically making them like pretty, well, not quite as big as they can possibly be, but then we're making them pretty big and pretty powerful. I mean, I suppose we could get crazy and add another row of artillery, but it's going to be hard enough to get everybody equipped up to this level, so maybe we'll increase them again once they're fully equipped. But for now, let us save that new division, and they are the Infanteria Bravados Extreme. I probably should have edited and created a new one, shouldn't I? But it's too late now. The Infanteria Bravados, they're all going to be that awesome. That's just the way that it is. We can always create a new, smaller unit if we want to. Let's take a look at Gildardo's forces. So all these, look, they need now to get a load of stuff. We can get a little report here. Reinforcement requests. Waiting on equipment to be produced and delivered. 30 support equipment, 159 towed artillery. Next, 1,660 of manpower will arrive in 135 hours. Okay, full manpower reinforcement roughly in 35 days. Okay, I mean, that's not too bad. How long is it for our actual war justification? 75 days, give or take. We'll have Gildardo bravely and heroically fighting through the jungle. And then we'll have Martin Bustamante lead his crack mountaineer troops, like just on a raid down across these mountains. So let's frontline him, get them in there, and start plotting their attacks. We'll need to think, like I say, exactly about how we do this. We're not entirely sure what we'll be facing. We have no intel on these regions. World news! The Legionaria's Bulgaria has capitulated. Wow, that didn't take long, did it? Armand Kalinscu has announced that the cowardly Bulgarian nation could no longer withstand the pressure from the overwhelming presence of Romanian forces throughout the country. The Bulgarian government chose to flee and has gone into exile, as they always do. Europe continues to fall to the Allies. There is basically, I mean, it's just, yeah, it's just what it is. It's just what it is. The real battle is still to come. The Soviet Bear and the Green Dawn rising together to bring socialism and justice to the world of the bourgeois elite. We should we try and like improve relations with the Soviet Union? Are they even friends with us? Hi Stalin, how you doing, buddy? We're sort of friendly. Plus 35 and 133. We've got a non-aggression pact already. Ask for military access. Improve relations. I don't think we really want to spend our political power on that at the moment. Just have to hold up. We'll hold fire. It'll be fine. They will do what they need to do in due course. And as will we. We will rise up together and crush all of the bourgeois elite. Starting with Peru. As for Brazil, what are we up to? 42% communist. Okay, next time we'll make a decision as to whether we start the coup or not. I guess maybe it would make sense to see just how quickly we're starting to make a dent on Peru. Look, our research has been finished. Heavy tanks have been completed. The boffins have completed the heavy tank research. Fantastic. We will begin construction of some heavy tank battalions in the very near future. Right now, we maybe should improve our artillery, as we literally just decided we were going to deploy lots of artillery. So improving it is probably a good idea. Maybe. Who knows? Anyway, finding out whether that was indeed a good idea or not, we'll have to wait until next time, as will the construction of our very first heavy tank brigade, which shall indeed bring the fight to the enemy. But until then, thanks a lot for watching, everybody. I have been Weird Wizard, and I will see you later.